Hello, welcome to this week's MMA Freak Fight of the Week. I'm Matt Salzer. Today, let's see, this week, let's see. I think the fighter of the week I'm going to choose is Thug Rose Namajunas. I'll go ahead and but we'll talk about the various fights. Starting with the main event, we had the lightweight championship fight of Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Al Quinta, and the fight wasn't even close. And yeah, there were points where Khabib was clearly slacking off. Like, he tried to utilize his stand up when clearly he's not a stand up fighter. I mean, we're just gonna have to admit that. So that's we're just gonna have to admit that he's not a stand up fighter, and but he was still beating the judges gave him all 5 rounds, which means that even in his worst rounds, he was still beating him. But clearly his ground game, his ground and pound especially, his ground and pound is still very good. So, he went up there, finally became the champion. It's nice to see him win that, but, he's either going to have to fight. And I still don't understand why they stripped Tony Ferguson of the interim title. Apparently, he's been stripped of the interim title. It's just like, wait, shouldn't he still be the interim champion so that he could face Khabib for the undisputed championship? This is one of those things where it's a little confusing because, past precedents weren't one thing and they're doing another. The UFC's consistency, if there's anything I've learned, is sketchy at best, but maybe it might also have to do with the the new ownership. Either way, it was an interesting fight, to say the least. But it was nice to see him win. So then on to the women's strawweight fight with Thug Rose Namajunas defending her title against former champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk, or Jędrzejczyk, depending on how you pronounce it. But either way, Rose went in there and basically outstruck the striker for 5 rounds. And it just goes to show, A, the coaching of Patrick Berry is pretty good, and B, this was not a fluke. There was some speculation that it might be a fluke. It was not a fluke. And it was not easy because Rose, Joanna kept attacking that left thigh. She kept attacking that left thigh, and it was pretty purple and was even bleeding in a few spots by the time the fight was over. But Rose did not let that deter her. She went in there and she still, there were some points during the middle rounds where she was slowing down, but that third round, if there was any pain, she was putting it aside and was fighting to win. It was just one of those things where it's like, you know what, I've got to win. I've got to get I got to get that W. So, and then on top of that, she got that takedown towards the end. So that's just, it just goes to show that, looks can be deceiving. Either that or, pain tolerances are just better. But either way, she just went in there and did her thing. And by the end of the fight, you had Joanna's face looking like she'd been through a meat grinder. Clearly, she solidified it. There's any number of fighters that could now face Rose for the title. And Joanna, the best bet for her would be to go up to flyweight. She's got excuse me. She's got a score to settle with Valentina Shevchenko from back when they were both in Muay Thai. So, that should be an interesting fight either way. So, you got that. Then, you had the fight between Renato Moicano versus Calvin Kattar. These are two up-and-comers, and they definitely fought their hearts out. There were more named fights that were supposed to take place, but of course, there was all that issue with Conor, and then Anthony Pettis trying to renegotiate at the last minute, and blah, 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 blah. So, the fight card was a little bit thinner than maybe necessary, but Renato Moicano defeated Calvin Kattar in 3 rounds, and it was a good fight. Then you had Zabit good fight, and then Joe Lozon's retiring fight against Chris Gutzmacher, and he lost. Because by the second round, he was just, his face was just to go on. Then on the prelims, Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Felice Herrig faced each other, and that was a close fight. It could have gone either way. It definitely could have gone either way. I was honestly leaning more towards Felice, but that's not what was what they deemed. And then Olivier Abenressé fought Evan Dunham and beat him in the first round. And then you had Ashley Evans Smith, who has fought as high up as featherweight. And here she is fighting flyweight against Beck Rawlings. This was one of those things where it just clearly Ashley was the bigger fighter, and unless you're like way more skill, which Beck was not, you're just going to be in the end, size does matter. If all skills are equal, size does matter. And I think that was the thing here. And then you had Devin Clark versus Mike Rodriguez, which was a 3-round fight. And it was a good card considering all the crap that happened right before all the sudden changes. It's just, they somehow the UFC was able to make it a good fight card. It was supposed to already be a good fight card, but then they made it better. So, so it was that. That's about it from me. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on MMA Freakouts on Twitter. Like our Facebook page. I'm at Matthew Salzer on both Twitter and Instagram. See you next time.